Hey, the better rifle. Drop the gun! Oh, shit! I'm hit. I'm okay. I'm okay. But not gonna die.
Welcome to Badges, Bullets, and Blunders, the show that tells funny cop stories from real people who live them. I'm the host, Travis Harless. Today, our guest is my good friend, Alex. Alex is a sergeant with a police agency in California. Alex, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How long have you been a police officer? What did you do before you became a cop? And what are some of the assignments you've worked as an officer?
Well, I started with the Army. I served 6 years. After that, I was a correctional officer. I moved up to a lieutenant. Then when I started here for it's almost 20 years now, with the department I've worked, majority of the stuff I've done is undercover. Started when we were in the gang unit, CCAT, Vice, Narcotics unit. Those are the majority of the time. That's the time I spent in UC.
A lot of time being undercover.
Oh, for sure.
You were in the Army. What did you do? What were some of the things you did in the Army?
Got deployed. We got deployed.
Were you an infantryman, right?
Yeah, I was a paratrooper, 82nd Airborne.
Okay.
So we were deployed to Sinai, Egypt for 6 months. We went there in multi-force peacekeeping mission, and had a lot of buddies that were there. We're on site. Maybe majority of the time we're out there in middle of nowhere. So usually the lowest ranking guy has to go and what we call it shit detail. Mm-hmm. So he would have to go out there and burn a barrel of shit. Yeah. So you have to put specific gas. You got a mixture of different types of gas fuel in it.
So you have like a drum, like a metal drum where the poop goes into.
Oh, yes.
And then you fill that with some sort of flammable
liquid.
gas.
Yeah, yes. Okay. It's like we call it gas. So we'll call him Private J. Private J goes out there. He's a hilarious dude. He goes out there, he comes back, he's screaming. He's singed his eyebrows off. He had some flash burns on his face. At first we thought something he just blew. We didn't know what he did, but then we realized he put too much
gas.
Yes, he put way too much, and it just flash burned his face. But fast forward, probably years later.
So he had exploding gas and poop come all over him, or?
Oh yes. So there's poop all over him. There was all over his face. You could smell it in his clothing. Mm-hmm. We immediately started getting the hose and just like stripped him down and sprayed him. All we did was put like a cream on it and pretty much then that was it. I think they took him back for a couple hours for
some water,
first aid and
some Motrin.
Yes.
Just take a knee and drink some water.
Oh, for sure. So we were worried about him, but I mean, after an hour, we realized he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So we get out of the Army, we balled it, and then years later, I see it on Facebook where I think it was Veterans Day or whichever, and people were talking about my buddy Private J. Say, hey, thank you for your service. We know you got injured overseas.
Yeah.
And then they posted
that's true.
Yeah, he did. He totally did. And they posted. I have this photo still too. It's a picture of Private J standing with his eyebrows singed, pink eye, particles of poop all over him. Mm-hmm. And then I get on there and I kind of just ruined his day. And is this the time when you had shit detail and you burned a barrel of shit in your face and it blew up? Yeah. And then his family buddies just started. What is he talking about? Yeah. We thought it was the grenade or whichever the case was, but I just kind of just ghosted after that. And
he said he was in the shit with the grunts.
Yes. I mean, he was technically. So that's correct.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, yeah, I kind of ruined Private J's
his stolen valor
story on that one too. If I destroyed it.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
You were a correctional officer. How long did you do that for?
4.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you became a police officer in 20 years. So, you said you've worked a lot of UC assignments, a lot of undercover stuff. You were talking about a reverse UC operation that you did.
Oh yeah. So this one was a DEA operation. It was a search warrant. It was like 6 different locations, different cities within the surrounding cities here.
And you were a narcotics detective at that time?
No, this time I was in the gang unit.
Oh, okay.
So this is when I was in the gang unit. They would ask me to do a lot of the UC undercover operations for different units, DEA, FBI, whichever, street narcotics. I would get asked quite a bit to do them. and it was kind of just started doing it, so it was still new, but it was really fun with the adrenaline going and everything else. So I would get asked to do it quite often after I started getting a little better as I went along. Yeah. So I get asked to do this one. I had to go into the DEA office, listen to probably an hour's worth of conversation on this source drug dealer, his phone calls on a T3. So then after getting it down his Spanglish, because like I don't speak fluent Spanish, so it's kind of Spanglish. So it was pretty much, it's kind of hysterical. It's kind of funny because I started out in Spanish. ¿Qué quieres? What do you want? And then they'll tell me, I want this much of dope or whatever. And then I just tell them like in broken English, okay, Home Depot, 15 minutes. And that's pretty much that's all I had to say all day. So anyway, we hit the house in the morning. We grab the source's phone. We arrest him. He's a bunch of narcotics at the house. We go up to another city. I start taking phone calls in and now start arresting or talking to the purchasers on the phone, on the drug dealer's phone. Yeah. So I was playing two roles. I was the drug dealer and I was also his runner. Yeah. So when they would ask for a certain amount, I would tell them, ¿Qué quieres? ¿Cuántos quieres? How much do you want? They would tell me. And beforehand, I made up all these little baggies of rock salt. It was it's harmless if you swallow it. So I had all these baggies. Some were way too big. And
you were selling the rock salt.
Yes.
As meth.
Yes. Throughout the day, just phone blowing up. They would give the money, just throw it on the floorboard. Get it? Throw it on the floorboard. And then, so I'd make a deal and then patrol cars would come. I'll say white Honda, and then they'll pull them over and then they arrest them. They're like, either they try to swallow it or they try to throw it, whichever the case, the transaction was already done. They get arrested for buying fake dope. On this one, so this nurse keeps calling throughout the day because she said she sent her boyfriend to go pick up some dope. And so me just trying to use broken Spanish saying like, no me entiendes, I don't understand. So eventually she comes around and she's frustrated. You can tell she's frustrated. She's wigging out. She needs her dope. And she has scrubs on her little badge on. She's a nurse. And then so she's upset and I give her the bag and she looks at it and she's very happy because she probably asked for $60 worth and I probably give her an ounce. Like it was just random weight. Some of the guys were like, it's a little light, or some of them were, holy crap, okay, thank you. And they put it in their pocket and run off thinking I just made their day. Yeah. So
let's go season some food with this.
So she takes off. I call it out. She gets pulled over. She tries to swallow it. The guys are laughing. She's looking at him. She goes, "It's rock salt. Like you're an idiot. It's rock salt. You just bought fake dope from a cop." So she felt like an idiot. I see her at court months later, and she's like totally embarrassed and this and that. So I don't know what happened with her career, but that was on that one right there.
Choking down rock salt for no reason.
Yeah.
You got your early start in the narcotics world as a gang unit officer, which isn't typical because it's hard to buy dope as a cop. There's actually more of a lingo to it than you would think. But we used to have an Astro van that we used for dope buys in the gang unit. Yeah. Yes. Tell us about some of your Astro van experience. Oof. Well, describe the vehicle first. How do we use that?
So it's probably the 2000s boxy white Astro van. I think it was like two-tone, maybe light gray, or it was just so dirty that I believed it was two-tone. Yeah. And it had a screen. So it has two front seats, and then you had a screen in the back.
Like a little curtain.
Yeah, it was a curtain, a slide curtain. And so on these operations, we would just I'd throw about 5 or 6 cops in the back.
Uniformed officers.
Uniformed officers, everything. We'll throw a blanket over them. Sometimes we have to open it up. They try to look, so we have a black blanket back there. Mm-hmm. And then so I would put my flannel on, my triple OG baker's hat on, and then we would just drive around town trying to buy dope. So this time we go into, there was this old hotel. It's a different hotel now on Union, Western Night. Mm-hmm. So we drive in there. This lady comes out. It doesn't matter. If you pull in there, they're going to come. What do you need? Yeah. So at this time,
you don't have to try that hard to get them to sell the dope there.
Not at all. Not at all. They'll literally throw it at you. So we go in there and I go, hey, let me get $60 worth. And so she hands me a couple of rocks. And then after the transaction's done, we do a code name, meaning, or so it's all right, deal's been made. You guys get out. 10:15, arrest her. So my code word was always applesauce, because I loved seeing their face when I would say applesauce, because they were so confused and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. And so to me, that was hilarious. So I loved saying that one. Well, when I said applesauce on this one, the doors open, guys bail. She pulls out all these rocks from her bra and she just throws them at me, and it hits me in the face and it hits me all over. And she's like, "That's not my rocks." And then literally she sees the cops get out of the van, but I'm the one sitting there. So she's trying to frame me, another cop that's sitting there. Yeah. And I could only go through my mind. It's like, I just saw her pull them out of her bra. She's a crackhead. She wasn't very clean. She wasn't very kept. And so, but I could only imagine where else those rocks have been, because I've done observations and watching, and they go from one person's crevice to their mouth to wherever else. So I was just imagining what I just got in my face at that time.
You remember? You might have been there for this. We bought some dope using. We had a CI that everybody used at the time. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
And we were buying some dope over in this, buying some rock. We pull up, and he gets out, and he walks into the house, the little crack house, goes in, he buys the dope, he comes back out, reaches in his mouth, he pulls out I don't know if I've told you this before, he pulls a rock out of his mouth, and he hands it to one of our guys, and he's got a glove on. He puts it in his hand, like all got a slobber coming out of it. He wraps it up in the glove, and so we start debriefing him, like, who's in the house, where do they got the dope, like all that stuff. And he's describing the dope dealer, and they ask him, okay, well, where's he keeping the dope? And he's like, oh, in his ass.
Yes.
Like, wait, what?
Yes.
Yeah.
His favorite place they hide it.
Yeah.
The man pocket.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? So you took the dope from his ass and just hid it around? Oh, yeah, no big deal. It's normal.
Yes, not very sanitary.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so the Astro Van, we had another one we bought. I think it was, I can't remember what we bought, where we did a jump out, and one of our guys got injured. What happened on that one?
No. So we knew these guys. It was Grape Street guys, gangsters. They were selling weed. And so I'm once again wearing my flannel, my little cowboy hat, trying to buy some weed. They kept trying to get me to go to the room and get it. But eventually they came out. We made the transaction. I yell out applesauce. And we'll say, Alan's, I think it's his first week in the unit. He jumps out just raring to go, big dude, and he just shattered his hand on a use of force on that one. And then he was out for about 2-3 months after that. Yeah. So I think he learned his lesson on not doing that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that same hotel where the lady threw the rocks at you through the window, that was a beehive of activity. The van, they got used to seeing that van. So we kind of burned the van after a while. We used it so much.
Yeah, definitely.
But I remember we would roll in there sometimes, like in all the patrol cars, and you could come in with like 5-6 patrol cars, and like nobody would even care. They wouldn't even move.
Yeah.
But if they saw one white van, they'd start yelling, "White van," and they'd run off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you guys had a pursuit, or you guys had not a pursuit, but a fake pursuit.
Yeah. So that same hotel, the Western Knight, it was a 2-story hotel. The target room was the top all the way to the far east corner. So there's no way that any uniform officer during the search warrant could make it to that room without them flushing or destroying any the evidence, their narcotics. So I believe one of the guys had a great idea. Hey, let's throw pies in the white Honda. Hey, let's throw them in there. We will pretend it's a pursuit. We'll chase them in there. We'll go up there. We'll take them into custody. But as soon as we were going to run past it. And as soon as they're going to hide the ram, and as soon as we go by it, they're going to hit the door. Yeah. So we come out. So as we jump out, I made the little bags of fake dope, and it was just like sweetener, little sacks of sweetener. So as I'm going out, I just yell out, "Fucking rollers!" And I start throwing out all these sacks, and they're just like, so everybody's just thinking.
You're in a white Honda, running from the police, pulling into this hotel.
Yes.
Police cars chasing you.
Totally undercover.
Lights and siren.
Everything.
Yeah. And you jump out with a bunch of bags of sweet and low.
Yes. So I try to make it authentic, make it real, make them think I was.
So you run up the stairs and down the catwalk?
Yes. So I bolted up the catwalk. I go past the room. They smash the deal. Well, first I run past the room, and the first 2 guys that were behind me, well, let's call this officer Carney Hands. So Carney Hands, he thinks it's hilarious because he grabs me and he wants to make it real. So he grabs me and starts kneeing me. Yeah. Like my feet are coming off the ground. He's kneeing me. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. So finally he can't cuff me, take me out. And as we're coming back out, That's when they hit the ramp. Boom, they hit it, and we hit the search warrant on that one. But then afterwards, we all after they cleared it, we leave, whatever. One of the informants that was on somebody else's informant, they said, "Hey, that dude that ran from you guys and threw," he goes, "Psh, he had fake dope on him. It was sugar." So they still believe they picked it up, and they tried to smoke it later, or snort it, whichever. But they realized it was sugar. Yeah, so that was funny.
That's sweet.
That was sweet.
Nice. More gang unit stuff. So, you had a story about a Peppermint Mocha?
Oh,
Some Starbucks?
Yeah, so gang officers, we're, I don't know, we all think we're pretty funny, pretty witty. We're out there chasing gangsters all night, but, sometimes we have some free time. We go get some Starbucks. So me and my partner at this time, it is Officer P, another, we went to go with Starbucks, get some coffee. It was cold, winter night. Somebody either... there were extra Peppermint Mocha there, whatever. So they said, "You guys want it?" We're like, "Yeah." So we took it. We didn't want it, so we called our buddies over, Officer A. Yeah, we gave Officer A the Peppermint Mocha. He's like, "Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate this." He goes, "Man, you guys
do you
are
want
nice."
this free Peppermint
Yeah,
Mocha?
and so he's smiling. I'm like, that's weird. He's smiling kind of bit for a Peppermint Mocha.
Yeah.
But then as we come around and they yell out our name. They go, "Hey, you forgot something." And I told Officer P, my partner was driving, I said, "Do not put your window down." And he goes, "But I can't hear him." And he starts putting his window down. And all you see is slow-mo. I could still see it right now. And Officer A throws this Peppermint Mocha, and it hurtles through the air. I'm probably, I don't know, 30 yards. It was so far. It was just crazy. And then Officer P starts putting his window back up, and I could still see the window going up, but for some reason, it just barely made it through. Hit the middle console, and it exploded like a fragment grenade. Just hit us. There was Peppermint Mocha all in the car. It was all over us. I think we chased them the rest of the night.
Like
we
a
didn't make
shit-filled
one
barrel
arrest.
of JP8?
Yes. Yes. Hot Peppermint Mocha. Yes, for the rest of the night. That's all we smelled.
Yeah, and it's got those little peppermint pieces all scalded hot. They stick like napalm.
Yes, definitely.
Or burning shit.
What jerks.
Yeah. So talk to me about the reverse search warrant for some heroin. What is a reverse search warrant?
No, so this is a reverse search warrant is when you hit a house for narcotics activity. You've done control buys or whichever the case, or I maybe gone up to the door and bought heroin, left, and we write a search warrant on me buying it from this location. So a reverse is when you hit the house, then I went undercover, and then you flip the roles, and then now I'm the dealer. So now everybody that's coming to the door are these drug users who are buying narcotics. So then I prepackaged some fake dope, and it was brownies in a tinfoil. Brownies, so if they open it, it looks like dark brown, similar to heroin. So they look at whichever. So if they swallow it, it doesn't harm them. So I think we met our quota of all these people we arrested, but then we finally talked the main guy into ordering from his main source. So we finally got him to do that. So we ordered a large amount. As the source comes out to deliver it, he's looking at it. You can tell him. I go to the window. I just kind of do this real quick and walk in so he can't see me. I have a cowboy hat on as well, so he didn't see my face.
Yeah.
But then when the guys rushed him from the back, I was looking out the window, and I could just wait, what's going on? I could just see that he just urinated. I could see actual urine just moving down his legs. Like he was so terrified of cops coming with guns and just taking him down. And he just had the dope in his pocket. Like he was terrified of this. This Spicer had no idea what was going to happen to him. He pretty much thought he was going to get robbed probably at first. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, he's probably more worried about the other end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Then we're end up getting melted in a barrel somewhere.
Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see the fear in his eyes for sure.
Oh, they're just going to give me some court probation. That's no big deal. You worked in Vice too, right?
Yes.
So talk to us. What is Vice?
Vice is an undercover unit where you concentrate on prostitution activity, gambling, different alcohol establishment licenses, cabaret licenses, things like that. So some of the operations we might do are undercover prostitution stings where we go around and we will you see the ladies of the night standing up and down Union, and then you go and you have to make this deal. The main two things you have to ask them is, you got to make sure you're asking for sex and how much money is going to cost for them to do these sexual activities with you.
Yeah.
So on this one, we go around whichever, and keep in mind a lot of them are, they drink, they use drugs, whichever the case is. So on this night, I'm going around, and then I see this. She's holding a big old cup. I ask her for the activity and the amount, and I said, "Oh, all right," but she wouldn't get. She jumped in the car, and then that's when we did the transaction regarding asking how much it's going to be. And as soon as I told her I was a cop and I pulled my badge out, that cup was filled with vodka and orange juice. So she threw a screwdriver on me, and it was just covered. I was literally soaked in it. I think I just went home after that.
Yeah.
But I just smelled of alcohol. And then the boss comes over. He's like, "What the fuck? You smell like alcohol?" I said, "She just threw it on me." He's just like, "Yeah, right." Yeah. I was like, "No, I don't roll around drinking on duty." But yeah, so that was
deep undercover.
Yeah. So.
And just to clarify, like you would ask them for their services, and you'd get the amount, price, and then you would arrest them.
Yes, I have to get the what I'm asking for, and then the amount of whatever.
You weren't pulling like a full South Park, deep undercover where after the sex act.
No.
You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that episode?
No, I haven't actually.
I'll have to send you a clip. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so after the verbal agreement is done, then we pull our badge and say, "Hey, you're under arrest," and that's where.
Do you ever do any of the like in the hotel ops, like not for the walkers, but like where you meet
We
them up
call them
like the online order to the.
So we would get a hotel room, and then we would call them in off. Yes, we've done that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember one we did. It was off of over by the 99, and I think on this one, so you have a connecting room, so everybody's listening. And at this time, we had one of our officers. He was a detective at the time. He's a real short Mexican guy. He's sitting or he's hiding behind the little lounge chair in the corner, and then we just put like piled clothes on him, whichever the case is. So I think this one I had like a towel on. I think I was knocking out some push-ups or whatever, because I was chest naked in the room. And then the girl comes in, and we do the verbal. Meaning how much for what I want, and then at this point we give a code name. Because you could hear that they're listening, the door's cracked. And as soon as I gave whatever the code word was, they all rush in. I mean, it's just havoc after that. She's trying to get out. She's like, never mind. And she tries to run, whatever the case is. But usually we just arrest them as they...
Were you there when, I think the code word was It's Just Like Christmas?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, with Mason?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so Mason's like, the gal comes in and not the best looking lady of the night. And the code word was It's Just Like Christmas. And so he does the transaction, gets the deal going, and then he's like, great. So he gives the code word, It's Just Like Christmas. And like the guys were watching from the next room, and they wouldn't like messing with him. So they didn't come right away. And so he's like sitting in the bed, and she's like starting to come towards him. He's like backing up, and he's like backing away from her. He's like, It's just like Christmas. It's just like Christmas. It's just like Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And if it comes to that, you just jump up. It's like, all right, you're under arrest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just let him cook on that a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to us about doing an undercover op for murder for hire.
Oh, so once again, I'm in the gang unit. I get asked by an FBI agent to go undercover as a assassin, a murderer, guy from LA,
Hitman.
a hired hitman.
Okay.
So I said, hell yeah, let's do this. A lot of times I'm nervous. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to make it up as I go. Anyway, so.
How'd the case come about? What was the guy wanting to kill? Who was he wanting to kill?
So this guy goes to his roommate and says, hey, I need these people killed. I know you know some people that are in prison or got out of prison. Can you find me somebody that I can have these two people killed? Because I burglarized their house and some other houses, and they know it was me, and they're going to testify, and I'm going to go do time for this stuff.
For burglary?
For burglary, back in the day. So you're talking 2010, 2009.
Okay.
When it was actually something.
I might get a citation now.
Yes. So we get that backstory, this and that, and then we go over what I need to do, and the main things I need to do is make sure that he wants him murdered. I mean, meaning that that's what he wants, and for how much.
Yeah.
So if I get those two things, I'm done. He's done, and that's the end of it. So this is one of my first ones too. Keep in mind, this truck is wired up, cameras, audio, everything. I mean, I'm undercover once again. I got my flannel on, but this time I have an LA hat on. So I go in there. I'm trying. All right, I'm gangster now. I'm the veterano from East LA. Now this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I roll up, and there's this white guy. He looked kind of, he's all tatted down. He's got a shaved head, right? It looked like he's off the wood pile. But I was like, okay. But I could see it. He's pale, and I go, he's scared. I said, oh, I own this guy. This is me. I go, what's up, man? You got something for me? He's all, yeah, man. I said, well, fucking give it to me. So he walks over to the truck, and he's all scared. I can see his hand shaking. I go, give me that. And I grab it, and I look at it, and I go, you want these motherfuckers killed, or you want them fucking taught a lesson? He's just like, killed. I said, 2? Fuck. You know what? 5,000. Fuck it. $5,000. He's like, I said, all right, 5,000. They're done. They're killed. He's like, oh, okay. I saw. I'm driving off, but I could see it in my mind. Yes, I got him. I did my job.
Yeah.
So then I get all giddy like a schoolgirl, and I'm just like, have a good day. And I'm just like, I'm driving away, and I was just like, what murderer says, have a good day?
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck. The sergeant, everyone's gonna laugh at me, and I'm just like, I felt like a freaking idiot. And then guess what? As soon as I got back to the rally point, oh my god, it was nothing but just fucking have a good day. So that's all I had the rest of the time. So the video before was good, but at the end, I was
Yeah, you broke character.
Yeah. All I could think is the grand jury later in the federal court just listening to me saying, "What a killer, huh? Have a good day." Yeah, I felt like an idiot.
What a nice guy.
Yes.
He walks away, he's like, man, that murder wasn't so bad after all.
He wasn't so bad. He does have a heart.
Nice. All right. Well, Alex, thank you for coming out and talking to us. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and stay frosty. Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Is it good enough exit?
Yeah. You don't even say stuff like that. I just gotta leave it in.
I'm sure you would.